Assalamu alaikum, dear students. How are you all? I welcome you back to my English online classes. I hope you all are fine and safe at home. Students, do you know what is the topic we are going to deal with today? Yes. So without much ado, let's get into the topic.
Yes, of course, the following sessions would be of grammar sessions. Today's session we are going to deal with modals and semi-modals. Dear students, now let us learn modal verbs. Before proceeding to the topic as such, we should know what is a verb. Being in 12th standard, you would be very familiar with the term verb because you would have learnt in our lower classes. What is a verb? A verb is an important part of a sentence which talks about the actions, events and the state of being. So mainly it talks about the actions. It always found in the predicate of a sentence. What is a predicate in a sentence? Next to subject, the remaining part of the sentence which is called as the predicate. So what is a verb? It expresses an action, a condition or state of being. Example, the director squished his nose. What is squished? It's nothing but crushing. His nose is big. The director is squishing his nose. So the underlined words which represent verb, it denotes the action or event or state of being. Squished is also a verb. Is squishing is also verb. Now let us discuss the types of verbs. Verbs are generally classified into three types: action verbs, linking verbs and helping verbs. Now let us discuss what is an action verb. Action verb is nothing but which denotes the action in a sentence. It tells what the subject does in a sentence. So coughed, right, awake, sang, swallowed, ran. All these words which denotes action, so they are called as action verbs. Coming to linking verbs. What is linking? So it talks about or expresses a condition or state of being. Example, the cow is blue. Is a verb which expresses the state of being. There are 9 common linking verbs. How many linking verbs? 9 linking verbs. To remember easily, you should remember the sentence. All boys in school work. So A, what are the categories? Am, are, be, being, become. I, is, seem, W, was, were. So there are 9 linking verbs. What are the linking verbs? Am, are, be, being, become, is, seem, was, were. So linking verb is nothing but which expresses the state of being. She become a doctor. So which expresses the state of being. Next, coming to helping verb. Helping verb which helps the main verb to express action or to give a complete meaning in the sentence. So as the name suggests, it helps the main verb to complete a sentence. Elma was using the computer. So was is the helping verb. Helping verb is otherwise called as auxiliary verb. One should be very clear that helping verbs and auxiliary verbs are one and the same. There are 24 auxiliary verbs in English language. Students, you should be very familiar with this chart. That is, verbs, they are generally classified into main verbs and auxiliaries. Main verbs, you know, which talks about the action, state of being. Auxiliaries, they are helping verbs. So auxiliaries are divided into primary auxiliaries and modals, which is the main topic which you are going to learn today. What are the primary auxiliaries? Am, is, are, was, were, do, does, did, has, have, had. So they are all helping verbs. So modals: can, could, shall, should, will, would, may, might, must, ought to, need, dare, used to, which comes under semi-modals, but here it is categorized as modals. So altogether there are 24 auxiliaries. So am, is, are, was, were, do, does, did, has, have, had, can, could, shall, should, may, might, must, ought to, need, dare, used to. 24 auxiliaries. Let's get started with modals. I hope you would be familiar with verbs and the different types of verbs: helping verbs, auxiliary verbs and linking verbs. Now we are going to discuss modals. Modals, it's a special kind of the verb which expresses the mood. That is, which expresses the attitude of the speaker, which expresses the condition form of a verb. Example, I can dance. Can is a modal verb which expresses the ability. So, helping verbs, auxiliary verbs and modal verbs are one and the same. So, as the name suggests, they help the main verbs to complete a sentence. Let us see some of the modal verbs. Can, could, shall, should, will, would, may, might, must. So, these are categorized as modal verbs. So, what are the modal verbs? Can, could, shall, should, may, might, must. They are classified as modal verbs. So far we have discussed modals and what are the modals in English language, and now we are going to see the functions of each modals. The first one we are going to see is can, could. So can, what are the functions of can? First one is ability, that is the ability to do something. I can speak 4 languages, I can dance, I can do this. So can represents ability. Next is possibility. Smoking can cause cancer. So happening, future happenings, that is called possibility. Next, permission. Can I use your book please? In case of permission, you might use can. Next, request. Can you hand me the pen? Can you hand over this to me? So you'll be using can. Next, offer, that is help. Can I help you? Can I do this for you? So you'll be using can. Next, cannot. You cannot do this. You cannot smoke here. You can't smoke here. So negative form can is used. Next, could. So the past tense of can is could. So what are the functions of could? Now let us discuss. First one is ability. So ability in past tense. I could play a guitar when I was a child. So ability in past tense. So in past tense you will be using could. Present tense you will be using can. Next, possibility. A lot of crime could be prevented. So possibility, again in past tense could is used. Permission. Could we go home now? So permission. So polite way you will be using could. Request. Could you lend me this book? So if you want to be very polite to a higher authority or an elder person, you should not use can. Could is used here. Suggestion. I could help you with English. So you are suggesting. Next, condition. I could visit many places if I had more money. So condition. So if I had more money, I could visit many places. So in case of condition, could is used. So the past tense of can is could. So can is used in present tense, could is used in past tense. The functions are more or less the same. So in case of permission and the request, the more polite form of asking permission and request, you should use could. You should not use can. Now we shall discuss the functions of will and would. The past tense of will is would. So will is used in the form of request. Will you lend me a book? That is when you are asking informally, that is normal way. Next, a refusal. That is in negative form. I won't do your work. Will. What is the negative form of will? Won't. Next, offer. I will watch your children today. So in present tense will is used, past tense would is used. Next, the most important function that is used in the conditional clause, that is first conditional clause. There are 3 conditional clause, first conditional clause, second and third. First conditional clause, that is if plus present tense, and what will come? Will, shall, may, can. This is the first conditional. Second conditional, if plus past tense. So would, could. Next, if plus past perfect, would have, could have. So these are the 3 conditionals. So first conditional, if he asks me, I will help you. So if plus present tense, will, shall, can, may will come. Next, it is used in the future tense. We will visit Spain next month. So would, here it is used in a more polite form. So will, it is used in an informal way, that is a normal way. Would you study with me? Next, refusal, she would not help me yesterday. So would, the negative form is would not. Next, offer in past tense, I would have helped you. The most important function, it is used in second conditional and third conditional. Second conditional, I said if plus past tense, would or could. Next, if plus past perfect, would have, could have. So if I had more money, I would buy a car. This is second conditional. Third conditional, if I had studied, I would have passed. So past perfect is there, so would have or could have. Next, so this is the important function of would. So will and would, so it is used in request. So when it is present tense will, past tense would, refusal, the negative form is used, and conditional clauses will and would is used. Now let us discuss the functions of shall. The first function is suggestion. Shall I get a pizza for dinner tonight? That is your suggestion. Next, confirmation. I shall meet you there at 7 o'clock. When you want to confirm something, shall is used. Next, offers. That bag looks heavy. Shall I carry it for you? Shall I do this for you? When you're offering something. Next, instructions. That is when you want to ask or give something. What shall I do with your mail when it arrives? So when you're asking or giving something, shall is used. So shall is used in suggestion, offers, instruction, confirmation, etc. Next, should. Should is used in advice or suggestion. That is when you want to do something compulsorily, then should is used. That is, your hair is too long, you should get a haircut. That is compulsorily when you are forced to do something, you have to do something, then should is used. Should and ought to, which carries the similar meaning. Ought to is a semi-modal. So should and ought to, which denotes the same meaning. So advice or suggestion is the main function of should. So should is used for advice or suggestion. Now let us learn the functions of may and might. One should know the difference between may and might. So there is a minor difference between may and might. See the example, it may rain, it might rain. So the chance of raining is 70% in the first case. That is when may is used. When might is used, only there is 40% the chance of raining. So might, which implies the smaller chance of something happening. That is the least chance of something happening when compared to may. So what is the first function? Possibility. It might rain later, so take an umbrella. I may watch a movie tonight. So be clear, might is used when the chance of happening is very smaller, might is used. So in case of giving permission, you may do this. You may open the window if you want. You will be using may. So when you want to ask permission, may I get in? May I borrow your pen please? May I have some water please? You will be using may. Then expressing some wishes. May God bless you. May you both live a long and blessed life. You will be using may. So may is used in case of possibility, permission, giving permission, expressing wishes. So you should know the difference between may and might. So might is used only when there is a smaller chance of something happening. Might is used. So most probably may is used. When expressing the wishes or giving permission, only may is used, might is not used. Now let us learn the functions of must and should. Must and should, which conveys the same function, obligation and recommendation. What is obligation? That is when you want to follow something very strictly, that is called obligation. You must obey this order. So strictly you have to do this. You must do this. So that is called obligation. You must respect your parents. You must visit DC when you're in US. You must be 18 or older to vote in the US. Next, should. I should save more money each month. She should wear a suit to the interview. So something which should be done. Then must and should is used. Have to. I have to finish this report by 5. So when you have to do something very strictly, or when you have to follow something very strictly, then must or should is used. You must take this medicine regularly. You should attend this online classes regularly. So must and should is used. Now we are stepping to semi-modal or quasi-modals. So semi-modals, which is used both as modals and as main verbs. But the semi-modals, they are used rarely in a sentence. There are 4 semi-modals: ought to, used to, need, dare. So there are 4 semi-modals. We shall discuss one by one. First one is need. When need is used, when there is a necessity, need is used. I need to buy a packet of milk. Then moral obligation. We need to keep our environment clean. So necessity, moral obligation, need is used. Next semi-modal is used to. What is used to? Used to is nothing but when you were using or doing something in the past and at present you are not doing that or using something. Example, my grandfather used to work for long hours when he was young. So what is the meaning? At present he is not going for a long walk because he has come to his old age. So used to, which denotes habits in the past and at present you are not doing it. Next, dare. Dare, which represents boldness. I dare not to go out in the dark. How dare you can do this? How dare you enter my room? So dare is nothing but boldness. How dare you do this to me? So dare is a semi-modal which represents boldness. Next, ought to. Ought to is similar to should. So should and ought to, which conveys the same meaning. First one, duty, that is you ought to submit your assignment on time. Moral obligation, that is you ought to help the needy. Next, necessity. You ought to hire some furniture for the party. So first one, duty, moral obligation. Then necessity, you will be using ought to. Ought to is similar to should. Students have given assignment questions for you. Kindly read the questions properly and use the modals and semi-modals and submit your assignments. Thank you for watching.